Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a message for all of the Pisces out in the collective this month. This is going to be your monthly April message, Pisces. For those of you that are new, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen. I'm a spiritual advisor, intuitive coach, and I provide you with guidance, wisdom, and inspiration every week right here on this channel. We truly appreciate every single one of you, and all we can do is ask that you please subscribe. Give us a like as it truly does help our content. Comment down below if you desire and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I release new content. Without further ado, let's get into your message, Pisces. All right, Pisces, we're going to get right into it. So as you know and as you are aware, this is going to be a general message. It is not going to resonate with every single Pisces out in the collective. So I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. Also note that I take jumpers from the pack. I don't like to choose my own cards. And we're going to jump right into an oracle message as I like to see where you are energetically. Angels, archangels, guides, ascended masters. Okay, well, we got right into it, Pisces. Apparently, they have a lot to say. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay, we're going to get right into it. So first up, we have the web weaver. Okay, this really talks about synchronicity. Okay, it also talks about divine intelligence and the law of cause and effect. Okay, what I really want to say with the web weaver is that Pisces, you need to become very aware of that your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions truly create your reality. It truly creates the web that is around you, okay, which builds your foundation of where you are and who you are, okay? The web weaver really talks about the things that you are really wanting to bring into your existence or the things that you are wanting to change in your life. If you have a belief that does not align with something that you are trying to change, then you have to learn to look at the belief and change the belief. Okay. Because the law of cause and effect states that whatever effect transpires is because of a cause, right? And a cause will always create a specific effect. How we bring things into fruition, how we manifest things into existence is based off of the thoughts that we have on a repeated basis and the emotions that we attach to those thoughts. And you are a manifester. You are a creator. You create everything within your reality, within your existence. You might not think so, but you do. Okay. The other message here is the winged ones, okay? And Pisces, what this is really saying is that if you need help, you need to learn to ask for help. Help will always be given to you, but you must learn to ask for it. It isn't going to just miraculously be given to you without your consent or without your need or you really asking for it. I think a lot of times we feel that that people are just going to drop everything and provide us with the assistance that we need because they see us suffering. And in some cases that might happen, but that isn't going to happen all the time. You have angelic beings that want to help you. They truly want to help you, but they cannot impede on your own free will. That you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and ask for the help before angelic help can come in and provide you with that guidance. Other people might not know that you are in need of help unless you specifically ask for that help. So what I really feel that Spirit is really trying to say here, Pisces, is that you need to learn to step out of your comfort zone and not rely on yourself so much. Ask for the help that you need. You also have Sisters of the Season. This really talks about cycles of growth. you know, there are 4 different seasons, and every season brings in something new, something that it is known for, right? So spring is really the time when the flowers begin to bloom and new life is formed, right? The fall is when those flowers sort of tend to dissipate and they start to go into hibernation mode, because right after fall, we're going to be approaching the winter, right? So the cycles of growth also transpire in your life. That is just part of natural law. There is that natural law and the order of how things are done, okay? And that is really divine order. So what I really feel that Spirit is asking you here with this, Pisces, is that number one, you need to become more aware of what it is that you are creating, and really be sure that what you are really wanting and what you are desiring and what you are wanting to change, really sit back and reflect, you know, what is the cause of my thoughts? Like, if I have this thought, or if I have this desire, and I don't like this thought or this desire, what is the cause of it, right? Because the cause that made you feel that way or made you think that way is the effect, is what transpired, okay? Also, learn to ask for help. Learn to step out of your comfort zone. Recognize that you're not in this alone. You have the help. All you need to do is ask for it. You need to learn to step out of that comfort zone and learn to ask for the assistance from other people outside of you. Also recognize that there is a time and a place for things. You know, you can't, you know, we never advise, you know, the way that the law of nature works. You can't plant, you know, bluebonnets in the winter because they just won't grow. That is just the nature of how things transpire. So recognize that there is always a time and a place. There's always a, you know, a cycle of how things function and how things work. Right. And I think you really need to learn to become accustomed with how your cycles flow and how your cycles go, in order to truly know when the right time to, you know, plant the seeds for your growth or transition or your move, whatever that might be. Okay. Now let's move right into the tarot and see what the tarot has to offer us, Pisces. Angels, archangels, guides, ascended masters, what information do you have for Pisces this month? What additional information and insight can you provide Pisces this month? Okay. Okay, so right off the bat, Pisces, we are starting off with the 9 of Swords, which really tells me that a lot of you are really focusing in on fears, the illusions. It's keeping you up at night. You're feeling very, very, very restricted, almost as if you're alone. So my question here, Pisces, is, you know, what are the fears? If you are currently experiencing doubt, if there is something that is keeping you up at night, are you journaling about it? Are you writing about it? Are you really allowing yourself to really focus in on it and allow yourself to really explore that, right? Wow, they have a lot to say here, Pisces. All right, we need one more card, and then we should be done. What is the final outcome here? Okay. Okay. All right, Pisces, we're going to get right into it. As you know, this is a nine card draw. So as I mentioned, you are starting off at the 9 of Swords here, Pisces. So this 9 of Swords really talks about the things that are keeping you up at night, the fears, the worries, the anxiety, the stress, the illusions that you are currently facing in your everyday life. What I really want to ask you here is, you know, are you writing them down? Are you allowing yourself to explore them just a little bit so that you could actually get to the root, right? To the cause. What is the cause of those fears, those worries, the anxieties, the illusions? What is the cause of that? Because the effect is you staying up all night. The effect is you constantly being worried that, or being in fear all the time. Okay. Remember, with the sisters of the season, it talks about natural law, right? You also have this, the web weaver, which talks about the cause and effect, right? Cause and effect builds your foundation. Okay. It builds, there is just, you can't get away from the law of cause and effect. It's a law. It's a universal law. Okay. And what I really feel Spirit is asking you here, Pisces, is that you really need to sit down and write down everything that you're worried about, that you're stressed about, everything that gives you anxiety. You need to write it all down. Once you can write it all down, you can start really pinpointing each one of those areas of your life and figure out what is the cause. When you can figure out the cause of that, that is when you can start really figuring out, is this an area in your life, or is this a specific cause that you could ask for help from someone else, or from God's source, or from the angels, right? Like really pinpointing, what is the cause? Is this something that only happens at a certain time of year? Is there a certain cycle when this actually happens or when this transpires? Really figuring that out will really help you to align with how to deal with it on a step-by-step basis, right? I know that it can be very challenging and very frustrating to try to deal with it all as a whole. But, if a person came to me and I knew that they had a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety as a coach, I would help them sort of evaluate that and reflect that on a step-by-step basis, piece by piece. We wouldn't look at it as a whole. We would take it step by step, piece by piece, because you can't take a bite. You can't eat the whole elephant. You have to take it out a bite at a time, right? And that is really what I feel, Spirit is really asking you here with this 9 of Swords. We then have the 9 of Wands, okay? And I really feel that you staying up all night, being stressed, being anxious, having all of this fear and all of these illusions is really making you feel like you are having to protect yourself, right? You really feel like the world is against you. Notice how this woman is in this bubble, right? And she's trying to center herself. She's trying to ground herself. She's trying to protect what she has worked so hard for. And she's getting attacked with all of these wands, right? From outsiders. And I really feel that, because you're in this anxious mode, Pisces, and because you're really stressed out about this, you're really feeling like the world is against you and everyone is attacking you all at once. All of these fears, these anxieties, these stressors, everything is attacking you all at once. And you sort of feel like you're alone and no one is there to help you, okay? We move into the 8 of Swords, and this 8 of Swords is really what's making you feel restricted. You feel bound. You feel stuck to the situation that you're in. And this situation is really not allowing you to see things very clearly. Your thought processes are very cluttered, and you're sort of feeding into the illusion that there's nothing that can help you. You sort of feel that that is just the way things are and that nothing is ever going to change. And you just feel helpless. You feel so helpless and so stuck where you are that you're not able to make the clear choice to step out of this situation or deal with it step by step or piece by piece to really be able to look at how you can ask for help or where you can get that help, right? This woman in this basket with the 8 of Swords, right? She's not even looking at the reflection in the mirror, right? Because the reflection is really showing her that she's bound, right? That is clearly what she sees. She sees that she's restricted, that she's bound, that she can't move, she can't get out of the situation that she's in. But in reality, she's sitting there helpless. But she's not willing to help herself by stepping out of the situation and asking for the help that she needs. I really feel that ultimately here, Pisces, is this whole winged ones, right? that you can have the help, the angelic help, you can have the miraculous aid that you are desiring, but you have to be willing to help yourself first. And how you help yourself first is by recognizing where all of the stress, the anxiety, all of that stuff is coming from. When you can write it all down, figure out where it's coming from, where it originates from, how it got there, then you can start dealing with it piece by piece, right? You can't look at it as a whole. You have to really section it out. We then move into the Four of Wands, okay? And this Four of Wands really, this is signifying to me is that you, in this current situation, you're just wanting an escape. You're wanting something new. You're wanting a fresh start. You want to be able to be joyous and be happy. But those fears, the anxieties, the worries, the frustrations, the stress is really preventing you from living a happy, fulfilling life. You want the bliss. You want to be able to enjoy what is in your life, and you're wanting to be carefree with this Four of Wands. You have that desire and that instinct to want to be there, but you don't know how you're going to get there. Okay. So the overall message that I have for you is going to be the Fool with the Seven of Cups. Now, this is your overall message here. Okay. The Fool really speaks about going on a new adventure and stepping out of your comfort zone, really learning to trust. This is really about you trusting Spirit and allowing yourself to start something new, right? And in this particular instance, I really feel that it's about you making a choice to choose yourself, right? To choose change, to allow yourself to be led onto a new path that will make you feel not so restricted, that will help you know that you are protected, that you are guided, that you are supported, so that you could then release the anxieties, the stresses, the worries, and the fears that you have currently in your life. The Fool is really about learning to fall gracefully into the hands of Spirit while he treads on a new journey, right? And that is very much you here, Pisces. You need to learn to trust that when you give your all to Spirit and you learn to trust in where Spirit is leading you, you will go on a new adventure of self-discovery. You will learn exactly who you are, where you are. And, you know, it's interesting because when I look at this reading, when I look at everything that I'm talking about here, it just reminds me so much of my product, Eileen Into My Essence, that I created. And if you need more information on that, I highly advise you to go down to the description box and look at the link down for Eileen Into My Essence. You know, I feel that, you know, when you learn to step out of your comfort zone, right? Because the Fool is really talking about you learning to step out of your comfort zone, right? Learning that you're not bound and restricted to the current life or the situation that you're in. Recognizing that you have a choice, right? A Seven of Cups really speaks about choices, okay? And the choice that you have to make here is learning to choose yourself, learning to choose your joy, your happiness, learning to choose the right choice that is best for your highest good, okay? So that is the overall message. We're now going to move into the steps and the advice that Spirit has for you here, okay? Now, we have right off the bat the Queen of Wands, okay? The Queen of Wands is a type of energy that is wholehearted living. The Queen of Wands knows exactly what it is that she wants, knows exactly what it is that she's desiring, and she is going to do whatever she needs to do to get there. And I really feel here, Pisces, that this is what you are desiring. You are wanting to be inspired to live a new life, to lead a new life, one that would help inspire others, where people will see your journey and your experience of where you were and where you are, and will be able to see that transformation so resiliently within yourself that they'll ask you, how did you do it? How did you get there, right? You're wanting this. You want to live wholeheartedly, and you want something new, because I sort of sense that is what you are desiring and what you're wanting, but you have no idea how you're going to get there, right? We move into the Page of Wands, okay? So how you move, how you start, how you begin is you take it step by step. You take it from an apprentice perspective, right? A Page of Wands brings you an opportunity, right? When you have a page is really about learning to embrace a new journey, a new experience, right? Learning as you go. I think a lot of times in this particular instance, and the whole reason why I created my product, Eileen Into My Essence, and why I feel this fits you so well, Pisces, is because when we start to look at shadow work, right? And shadow work is something that a lot of spiritual people talk about, a lot of psychics and intuitives talk about, but people don't really want to tread down that path. They don't want to explore that because it's daunting, it's frightening, right? But it's not as complicated as people make it out to be. Yes, it's challenging, and yes, it's hard work, but with my product, Eileen Into My Essence, I built it in a way that is loving and nurturing to you, to take it step by step, piece by piece, so that you're not taking giant chunks out of the entire experience that sort of puts you into this place of the Nine of Swords, right? Because you have all of these anxieties and all these fears and these worries already, right? But if you can do it piece by piece and explore it in a very safe environment that allows you to sort of start building the life that you're wanting to and create the dream that you're wanting to, that is where you start. You start from a Page of Wands perspective. Eventually, it's going to move you into the Queen of Wands, because that is what you're desiring. But as a page, you have to learn. You start at the beginning, and you move along this journey into this new enlightenment, into this new awareness, into this new way of being, okay? We then moved into the Hangman, and the Hangman is in the reverse position here, okay? A traditional hangman is really about viewing things from a very different perspective. And because this hangman fell in your present position in the reverse position, I really feel that you are really limiting yourself here. You're only seeing things from one way, and you're really afraid that if you allow yourself to be open to explore new possibilities or new avenues, that you might make the wrong choice. And it's really about making a wrong choice, right? You have to be willing to surrender to the process. Ultimately, you have to be willing to allow yourself to explore the depths of what comes up, right, in that process. So the Hangman has, what I love about these tarot cards is that they offer affirmations with them, right? And so the affirmation with this is, because I want to point out, okay, when you have a hangman in reverse, what's really going on is that you're self-sabotaging yourself. You're preventing yourself from experiencing a new life, right? And I really feel that when you start this journey, when you start on this journey of self-discovery and moving into really looking at the cause of where all your fears, your anxieties, your worries, and your frustrations are coming from, you're going to stumble upon, you're not going to want to move any further. You're going to really prevent yourself. I said that earlier. So the affirmation with the hangman is, I lean into my inner world of limitless miracles, surrendering to the divine will of the cosmos. Let's say it again together. I lean into my inner world of limitless miracles, surrendering to the divine will of the cosmos. Your inner world is really exploring the depths of who you are and where you are. That is really the journey that you must embark upon here, Pisces. Now, your outcome card, we got 2 cards that fell out, okay? And what we got was the 5 of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune, okay? The 5 of Swords really speaks about a need and a call for you to find your self-confidence. I really feel that you're coming from a place where you feel that everyone is attacking you and you feel that you're living a life based at other people's expenses, right? You feel, and you might feel that you've been, neglected, abandoned. You might feel betrayed in some way. And that in and of itself puts you in a victim role here, Pisces. And it sort of prevents you from having that self-confidence to be able to move forward. Okay. But here's what I want to point out. The Wheel of Fortune really talks about karma, right? It really talks about balancing out the laws of nature and how your life flows. The wheel of karma is always spinning. It always spins. And it spins in the direction of the energy that you are putting out into the world. So if you can start on your journey and start really looking at the shadow aspects of yourself, Pisces, and really start working through them one by one. And I really highly advise you, if this is resonating you and hitting you at the core, I really advise you to really seek out the help that you really need, whether it's, a therapist, whether it's a coach, whatever it might be. I'm not trying to pimp out my services, but I just want you to get the help here, Pisces, because I can really feel the heavy weighted energy on me right now, based off of this reading. And I really feel that you need to get the guidance that you are needing. The Wheel of Fortune says that your fate will change based off of the energy and the work that you put into it. Okay. So I want to get some additional messages here, Pisces, to see what additional information Spirit can offer us here. So let's see. What additional information do you have for Pisces here, angels? What additional information do you have for Pisces? I also want to invite you, Pisces, to look down in the description box for my Eileen Into My Essence. If that is someplace that you want to start, that is definitely a place that you can start. And I would really, invite you to look into it. Just check down in the description box for the link to my new product. Okay. All right. This is beautiful. Okay. First card we have is Paradox. Okay. Now, Paradox really speaks about opposites. It also speaks about, I think the greatest thing to when it comes to paradox is that we often view things in one way, and we always, instead of allowing ourselves to view things from a different perspective, a lot like we talked about with the Hangman. The Hangman is really about asking you to lean into your inner world to view things from a very different perspective, right? So with Paradox, what we have here is, it is a reminder that we can hold 2 extremes at the same time, okay? So here's what I'm going to read you from the book for this card, okay? Sometimes we focus on things, whether internal or external, and see them as one-sided. But to hold the paradox within us requires strength, to see our most brilliant qualities and our most ugly. To acknowledge that they both live within us is a gateway to growth. Carl Jung said, "The paradox is one of our most valuable spiritual possessions, and for anyone who does shadow work, they know this to be true." But this can also be difficult for many people. If you've been raised in a rigid environment where things are viewed as black and white, it may be hard for us to accept our flaws, let alone love them. One of the best ways to slowly enter a relationship with our internal paradox is to remind ourselves that we did not create these things within us. We inherited them. It does not define us, and yet we are responsible for it. To work more deeply with paradox as you witness yourself through the day, identify what types of thoughts you have more of, positive or negative. From there, find the polar extreme. An example would be, maybe you thought, I am so freaking lazy. Acknowledge a couple things that makes that statement true. Then find the polar opposite of that statement. An example is, how are you hardworking? And acknowledge a few things or experiences that prove that you are hardworking. I really feel here, Pisces, that with this paradox, it's really wanting you have to face the shadow aspects of yourself in order to learn to accept where you are and learn to embrace who you are so that you could then embody that aspect of yourself. Next, we have compassion. What I really feel this is compassion for self. You learning to have that same compassion that you give to other individuals to have for yourself. When you can learn to hold yourself at the same accord, lovingly, to love yourself unconditionally, no matter how flawed you might perceive yourself to be, you need to love all aspects of yourself, whether you agree with them or not. Okay? So that is the message I have for you, Pisces. I hope that this resonated for you. I thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste, guys.